Hey, what's up? It's me, Jermaine, and today I'm back with another Batman like animated film review or whatever. This is my review for Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. As you can see, Batman right here. Then the villain on the film, which I don't want to spoil or whatever. You know, there's the villain of the film, or whatever. And you see Batman right there on the cover. Now this version of it has the widescreen like it was shown in the theater, and the standard version like that would fit your television screen. But this is my review for Batman Mask of the Phantasm, so I'm going to begin. Now I remember seeing this film originally back in 1993 when it was like it was it was on Christmas weekend of 1993. It's been like 20 years actually, like so it's been a long time. And I remember my anticipation for seeing it, so I went to see it at the theater on opening weekend. And I can remember seeing it at the movies or whatever. And I was already a fan of the show, which I started the previous year, Batman animated series. This was basically taken from that. This is basically the Batman animated series turned into a full movie. They just basically adapted the movie from the show or whatever, so it had the same look and feel of the show, and even the same voices like Kevin Conroy as Batman. Then you had like Mark Hamill as the Joker, and then like other voices on here too or whatever. That returned from the series, like whether it's like the voices of Alfred or Commissioner Gordon or like Harvey Bullock, those kind of like characters or whatever. But yeah, I can recall seeing this on like opening weekend, and I remember my anticipation for it. I remember when I used to watch the TV series, like Batman animated series, like the ones I already have did the reviews for, like those. I remember I always had like a thirst and want to see the animated series on the big screen. Then they finally created a movie, which was just the next year. Batman animated series had only been on television for like a year when this movie was released in theaters. So I went to see it at the theater on opening weekend. It was 1993 and Christmas. I remember going to see this at the movies. But this film, Mask of the Phantasm, it's about a mask, a vigilante who you can see right here on the cover, who is targeting crime bosses. And then Batman kind of gets blamed for it, and a lot of people suspect that Batman is the one that's doing all the murders of the crime bosses. But you know that Batman doesn't really usually kill unless he has to. And even Commissioner Gordon made a point of saying that, like earlier in the film, he even mentions that about Batman, that he doesn't really kill unless he has to. But Harvey Bullock kind of suspects that it is Batman that is doing like killing these crime bosses. But it really isn't. Of course, it's actually like this vigilante right here, as you can see right on the cover. And also in this film, there's like an old love interest of Bruce Wayne. Her name is Andrea Beaumont, and she plays a major role in this film. And she was actually introduced in this film too, but she plays like a major role. And she was an old love interest of Bruce Wayne way back before he even became like Batman. She has always kind of been in his life, but she had kind of went away, and this is before he became Batman, if I'm not mistaken or whatever. But they had like a relationship, together or whatever, because they met in the cemetery. When Bruce Wayne was at his parents' like grave. That's where they had met, in the cemetery. But yeah, she's an interesting character, and she, what I'm saying. And then also in this film, it has like a lot of flashback sequences that deal with like even like Andrea Beaumont and Bruce Wayne, like flashback sequences involving them. Flashback sequences kind of giving like a little insight into what Bruce Wayne did before he became Batman, like his nights fighting crime before he actually took on like the Batman persona or whatever. Before he actually became Batman, he was already kind of fighting crime, because it was like a cool sequence, kind of like in the beginning of the film, kind of where Bruce Wayne shows him trying to take out a gang of criminals. And he's young, and he has like a mask on, like covering his face as he's taking the criminals out of well. And you also see like a young version of Harvey Bullock. Like I'm saying, he's like younger, and he's in a cop car. He's like a rookie cop or something, because you can tell he's still in his like cop uniform, and he's like young or whatever. You can tell it's Bullock, But yeah. And then like Alfred also shows up in the film too, Commissioner Gordon and like Bullock, as I mentioned before, and they're Bullock is actually from the animated series too. Well, he was in the comics too, but he's actually from like he's very like he's kind of big in the animated series, which is this kind of based on. And there's also glimpses like, and the Joker plays a major role in this film too. He's actually connected somewhat to the vigilante that's killing all the crime bosses. I don't want to spoil it, but he's actually kind of connected to them to a certain extent. And there's also sequences where you get to see the Joker before he becomes the Joker. Like before he even had like the makeup, like the white makeup and stuff, the red lipstick and green hair. He's actually like a regular looking person with no makeup on, because he was like a former gangster before he became the Joker, so you actually get little glimpses of that too in the film. But yeah, this is like easily one of my favorite like Batman animated films, It has always been. I can recall seeing it at the theater, like I told you, back in 1993. Goes on Christmas weekend. I remember I went to go see it at the movies. You know what I'm saying? I had a good time. I was always anticipating seeing like the animated series. I always wanted to see that on the big screen. And it had only been on television for 1 year. So it's kind of odd, but I always had a desire to see what that would look like on a big theater screen. And then my wish came true. They had made an animated series film called Mask of the Phantasm. So right the previous year, because the Batman animated series debuted in '92, but this film came out in '93, Christmas weekend of 1993. And I remember going to see it, on the big screen. It was cool, But yeah, I always thought this is one of my favorite. Because when it came to video, I got it on video, and I used to watch it like over and over. This is also one of the films that kind of made me go into Batman more and more, just like the animated series did. It was also this film too that kind of drew me into like becoming a real big Batman fan. There's no reason why he's like my favorite hero or whatever, favorite superhero. So yeah, I'm saying, and what was so good about it, it still had like the look of the animated series, cause that's what it was kind of based off of, Yeah, like here's the scene where Bruce is like, he's like a mask, he's masked or whatever, he's fighting crime before he becomes Batman. Cause you see he has the mask on his face and stuff. Yeah, see he has the mask covering his face so they can't see who he is. But yeah, this film, I'm saying, I thought it was like one of my favorite, and I thought it was well made, and it's very, it's very atmospheric, and it looks just like a TV show, but basically made into like an actual theatrical film or whatever, like a film, basically. So I'm saying, but there was also some powerful moments in this film too, like the scene where like they're chasing Batman, like Bullock has the cops and stuff chasing Batman. It's like emotional. And it's powerful. It's kind of sad actually, because Batman gets beat up kind of bad. He's even like bleeding out his nose and like mouth and stuff. So I'm saying, that was a powerful scene. Then there's also like a confrontation with Batman and the Joker. Kind of towards the end, there's like a confrontation with Batman and the Joker, and there's also some funny moments with the Joker too, like a scene like I was saying where he's like in a hospital and the guy I think that had hired him before he became the Joker to kill, like I don't want to spoil it. It was like kind of funny. It's like a little funny scene in the hospital. It wasn't really meant to be funny, but the guy has been like poisoned by the Joker's like dagger or whatever that makes him keep laughing, and he can't stop laughing. So it's kind of like funny, It was kind of funny scene. And there's also like other funny moments with the Joker or whatever, But the new vigilante character, they I don't want to give it a think of if you have never seen Mask of the Phantasm. I don't want to spoil it. But the vigilante character, this person right here, they were they were cool looking. They were cool looking person because they kind of float and they have like smoke flying around them as he's taking out the gangsters, like the mob bosses. He like floats or whatever, so he has like smoke around him and stuff like that. I don't want to spoil it. And he has a voice. Yeah, Stacy Keach does his voice too. The guy that did like the Mike Hammer TV show or whatever, and he was also on American History X. I know he was in Escape from LA too, and he was on what else he was on kind of recently. He was also what was that show called? I think it was Lights Out. I think something like that. The boxing show about the boxer. But yeah, he does the voice of the villain. That is this guy, the vigilante guy. He does the voice of him. But yeah, this is a good film, and there's also a cool song at the end of the film. When it's good, but it's way at the end of the credits by Tia Carrere. I think that's how you pronounce her name. She's like Hawaiian, Asian, the lady that was on she was on True Lies as the villain. She was in a lot of films, but yeah, she does like the song and on for the soundtrack and the film. It's a nice little song. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, well, but this was like a powerful, and this is easy, like powerful film. This was easily one of my favorite, like Batman the animated films or whatever. So this is my review for Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. And like as I mentioned before, Cameron Conroy, he does the voice of Batman again, just like he did on the shore. And then Mark Hamill, he actually returns as the Joker too for this film, you know. And other characters like Alfred's on here, Commissioner Gordon, and Harvey Bullock, you know, all those return. They all have the same like voices, stars doing their voices too from the television series. So yeah, this was good, and I remember seeing this at the theater back in '93. So it has been like 20 years. 20 years ago, I went to see this at the theater at the movies or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of cool, you know what I'm saying? And I used to watch it over and over, and I had it on video. Like I told you, this is also one of the films that made me a big Batman fan too, from watching it so much, you know, because I thought it was so cool. But yeah. So yeah, this is my review for Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. As you can see. Now maybe one day they'll release a special edition of this because they never have. They will have features on it, but they never have. So I won't be surprised they do ever release like a special edition of this because they never have. Okay, so that's my review for Batman, Mask of the Phantasm.